Do you want to know how your mindset might be sabotaging you from having the life that you want and having the wealth that you want? My name's Kalia, and I'm going to talk about different ways that you might be sabotaging yourself and what you can do about it. First of all, I've been talking a lot about mindset. Mindset is really important, but sometimes we don't really understand what it means to have that mindset that we need in order to create the life that we want. First and foremost, what are the things that you might be telling yourself? For example, around money, what are some of the limiting beliefs that you might be having around money? What are you telling yourself? Money doesn't grow on trees. Some of these beliefs could be from way back. You might have heard your parents saying them, and they just became part of your own subconscious belief system. Now, our subconscious mind controls 95% of what's going on, where that conscious mind, the part that we're really in control of or in charge of, is only responsible for 5%. And that's why this work is so important and so powerful, is that you need to know what's going into your subconscious mind. You need to feel like you have some input there. Otherwise, that subconscious mind is just absorbing all day long all that you're feeding it, mostly from a place of unconsciousness. You might not be aware that you are holding on to an old belief that money doesn't grow on trees, that money's hard to come by, that you have to work hard for money, that people who have money are selfish or greedy. And, all these ideas and beliefs that you have around money influences your relationship with money. So if you want to have a good relationship with money, you've got to be mindful of the thoughts and beliefs that you're having around money. Are you telling yourself some of those things? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard to come by. Well, it's a good idea to get out a piece of paper and a pen and actually write down all the beliefs that you might be having that are sabotaging you. And start planting good seed by telling your subconscious mind that it's easy for me to make money. Money comes into my life easily and effortlessly. I don't have to work hard, and keep repeating those beliefs. Now, repetition is one powerful way to influence the subconscious mind. So the more you repeat something, the more it goes in and makes an impression on the subconscious. So that is one way that we can influence the subconscious mind, is through repetition. So another way you might be sabotaging yourself is a belief in scarcity. If you have a belief in scarcity, that means that, there's only a limited amount of something, and there's probably not going to be enough for you, and you don't want to take more than you should. You don't want to take more than your fair share. And that's got to go. That limiting belief has to go. And you have to develop a new belief that we live in an abundant universe and there is plenty. There's plenty for you. It's okay for you to have unlimited abundance. It's okay for you to have all the money that you want. Now, another thing that might be sabotaging you is also guilt around money, guilt issues around money. Now, guilt around money has to do with some deep programs as well, that if I have too much money, I'm robbing somebody else of their fair share. So here we are back at that lack. There's only so much to go around. And so I can't have more than my fair share. I am robbing somebody else by having plenty. And that's a false belief system that you just have to kick out of your life right now. There's nothing to feel guilty about. So you have to start confronting those feelings of guilt, because guilt really asks for punishment. If you're carrying around a lot of guilt, or shame for that matter, then we tend to seek out punishment on a subconscious level. And that punishment might be, well, the universe is withholding from me. It's withholding my good from me. That's why I don't have enough. There's this force outside of me that's keeping my good from me. We start to develop these beliefs that aren't helping us at all, that aren't helping us to get to where we want to go. So it's going to be important to really look for what beliefs are showing up for you. And if you have guilt running the show, and ask yourself, well, why am I guilty? Why do I feel guilty around money? Do I believe that there's not enough, that I'm taking more than my fair share? What about all those people that are starving? Is it fair for me to have all this when people are struggling? And what you have to understand is that everybody really creates their own reality. And when we talk about how the subconscious is really 95% of the equation and the conscious is only 5%, doesn't that explain a lot? Like most people are probably living in that lack consciousness that's being controlled by their subconscious mind. They're completely unaware. And you know what happens when we have all these unaware people together in the same pot is we reinforce each other's core limiting beliefs. Times are hard, the economy is hard, it's hard to make money, I have to work really hard, I have to work extra hard, people are really struggling right now. And so all these belief systems are being reinforced by the people around you. And so that causes you to feel even more guilt if you were to rise up and go higher and have more. What would people think? What would people say? So we have to move beyond that and realize that each one of us is creating our own reality. And you have the right to create your life the way you want it. And everyone else on the planet has the right to create their life. Even if they're creating from a place of unconsciousness, they're still creating. So people that are in lack consciousness are creating from their own lack consciousness and may not be aware of it. But your becoming aware is what's allowing you to rise up and take your place in a much more wealthy state where you do deserve to be. And that brings me to my next reason that people sabotage is a feeling that they just don't deserve it, that they're not worthy. There's a worthiness issue. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I don't have enough talent or ability to become wealthy. I'm just an average person. I have nothing special about me. And that's got to go too. Let's get rid of that one because you are just as worthy as anybody else. We all are worthy of making as much money as we want, need, or desire. And wealth also isn't just about money, it's about having a rich life. It's about having everything that you want in life, having good, healthy relationships, having plenty of money, and having great health. And all of those are really important for us to thrive in this world. So wealth encompasses all of that. Every time I talk about wealth, I will bring in money because a lot of people are struggling financially. And a lot of people, see, I'm just reinforcing that by saying that, but it's just so automatic. It's what I've observed. It's what I've noticed that people are struggling with money and they want out. They want out of the struggle. They want to find the secrets that will allow them to get out of that struggle and have the freedom to live life on their own terms, the way that they want to live life. And it's really how we should be. We really should live life the way that we want to and have a belief that we live in a friendly universe, an abundant universe, instead of a hostile universe that wants to punish us and withhold from us. That's not the kind of universe that we want to live in. So we get to create our universe by our thoughts and our beliefs. So let's look at another reason that people sabotage themselves financially. And that is they're not following inspired action. They're not taking the right action. It's not just a matter of going out there and finding a job. It's about finding out who you are and what really is your passion, your bliss, the gifts that you have, the talents that you have, and putting them to work in the service to humanity in some way. And that doesn't mean you have to have a service position. You don't have to be a coach or a therapist or a healer or anything like that. You could be serving humanity through a product that you're making. You could be an artist and serve humanity through your beautiful art. There's so many things that you can do to serve humanity, but most of us really seek to be in alignment with our purpose. And if you're not in alignment with your purpose, if you're just kind of floundering and doing whatever job you can get, but you don't like it, you're not happy with it, it's not likely that you're going to develop wealth consciousness in that place unless you completely focus on it and start doing some kind of side hustle where you are using your talents, your skills, your abilities, where you are following your bliss and doing what you love. And I, for one, have never been good at doing things I don't want to do, which is why I've been self-employed for the last 25 years. I have been one that tends to follow my bliss and follow inspiration. And that's really what takes me to the work that I'm doing. It's inspired. And I take inspired action. I'm here today because I'm taking inspired action. I'm doing what I feel inspired to do. And that's what we all need to do, is get into the habit of taking inspired action, which is what happens when you start aligning with your sense of purpose, your desire for abundance. You start confronting those limiting beliefs and those ways that we're being sabotaged, the ways we sabotage ourselves, and start doing things differently. And when you start thinking different, believing different, feeling different about your wealth, then you will start getting gut feelings. You'll start feeling inspired. You'll start getting intuitive hits and ideas that come to you. And when you act on those ideas, when you act on that inspiration, when you act on those thoughts of a direction that you should go, that's inspired action. And when you take inspired action, you're being taken in the direction of your good. You're being taken to your wealth through these divine steps, because the subconscious is taking in what you're feeding it and producing the fruit. And as you start feeding your subconscious more thoughts of abundance and wealth and right action and following your bliss and being free and all of those things that you can continue to feed it on a daily basis, then you will start getting those promptings, those inner promptings, those gut feelings, those inspirations and ideas. And you can start to follow those. Well, they will take you in the direction that you need to focus to have the wealth that you want. Now, another thing that people are often concerned with, that came up for me too when I started redirecting my business, is not really knowing what action to take. You know, what do I need to do to be competitive online, for example? So you may need to educate yourself. You may need to go down that rabbit hole and learn what is necessary, learn how to create funnels. If you're working online, you need to learn how to create funnels and how to market yourself in some way. And so there are some practical action steps that need to be taken to take you to where you want to go. A lot of people, for example, have difficulty with an area of marketing, maybe sales, so they tend to avoid it and back off from it. But part of becoming the person that you need to be to have the results that you want is to grow and expand and become more of yourself. And that means taking risks. That means doing things that maybe have been uncomfortable for you in the past. And that puts you right up to your growing edge. And if you go right up to your growing edge, you can push past it and start becoming more comfortable with those things that you've been uncomfortable with. And that's what expands you and grows you and takes you closer to your wealth. So you need to be willing. In fact, I've talked to people who would like to do something online, but they say, well, I'm never going to get in front of a camera. Well, I said that once. I said that before, that I am not comfortable being in front of cameras, not going to do it. And at some point, it became necessary to get in front of a camera because that was where the trends were going, to where people would more likely go to YouTube to get information than the blogs that I used to write. And so I kind of struggled with breaking into videos. And yet, knowing that this is the area of my passion and I need to move forward in it, I have to move beyond my blocks to being in front of the camera. And I mean, those blocks can go so many layers deep. Even when I work with people, those blocks go layers deep. So why are you afraid? Let's look at that. Let's break it down. I mean, there can be so many reasons. You might not like the way you look. You might be petrified when you look at a camera. There might be a lot of things getting in your way. But as you make friends with those parts of yourself that are resistant to your moving forward, you can start to take inspired action and move through your blocks and move past your fears and start doing those things that you know will help you to move forward in your life, no matter what it is you're doing. So be willing to take risks, be willing to do things that you're uncomfortable with. Following your bliss is really taking you in the direction of doing your soul's work, being on purpose with what you're doing. But it doesn't mean that whenever things get a little bit uncomfortable, that you just don't do it. We have to do things we're uncomfortable with in life. That's how we expand. And at any moment, you're either expanding and growing or you're contracting and dying. What do you want to do? Which way do you want to go? So consider that you might have to be uncomfortable a little bit as you're moving into this next phase of your life and doing what it is that you want to do, what it is that you love to do, and doing some things that you might really have some resistance to do. And when we do this work, stuff comes up. We come up against our growing edges, and it can be challenging. But guess what? We're going there anyway. Next year, we're either going to be further along in this work or we're going to be at the same place that we are right now, or we're going to go backward. So you have to really decide in a year from now, don't I want to be miles ahead of where I am right now? It's painful to think about staying the same, being in the same place, especially if you're stuck. You don't want to still be stuck a year from now. You want to have propelled forward in a big way where you can look back and go, wow, a year ago seems so long ago. I was way back there and now I'm here and now I'm having all this success. So you have to be able to also see yourself having that success and believe in yourself that you can have that success and work with those blocks as they come up. And if you need help working with those blocks, get help. It's worth it. It really is. One thing I learned in this last chapter that I've been on is you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in yourself because you're worth it. And sometimes we need a little help. Sometimes a lot of people I work with have tried to do it all themselves and they haven't reached out and they haven't asked for help. We all need to have a little help at times to get to where we want to go. Just remember there are certain things that are going to try to stand in your way and sabotage you, but it's your own program. So there's nobody to blame outside of yourself. There's no negative force trying to take you down. It's just the way that your subconscious mind has been programmed. And it's really just trying to help you by giving to you what you believe that you are. So if you want your subconscious mind to give you something different, then be that which you want your subconscious mind to give you because it gives you what you are, right? So when you're living in wealth consciousness, when you're living in a state of abundance, when you believe you're living in a friendly, abundant universe, the subconscious mind will reflect that to you by going to work to bring you the results of who you are now. And your life will begin to shift. It's important to work through those subconscious blocks, the guilt, the shame, the fear of moving forward, the limiting beliefs, not taking inspired action, all of those things that are stopping you from moving forward. Let's face the dragon, hold the vision of what you would like to be, and start becoming that today. Start giving your subconscious mind new pictures of who you are, new beliefs about who you are. So I really hope this has been helpful for you. And if you would like to make this your focus, to really focus on changing that mindset and having the abundance that you know that you want, come and join me at my Conscious Creators course and community where you can start on the Wealth Magnet Method course for free right now. Go ahead and go to the link in the description and sign up for Conscious Creators. It's free to join, and then you get to work with the Wealth Magnet Method program and also be in a community of like-minded people that are all working towards the same thing, which is to have abundance consciousness and create a life that they love. So I hope to see you on the other side. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.